The Football Manager transfer system is broken. You know it, I know it, and the AI offering me £5 million for my star striker definitely knows it. And just to clarify, I do love this game. I've been playing it since before most of you were born, so I don't want to see any more "Kev's moaning again" comments down in the comments to this video. But every year, I do end up in the same situation over and over again, shouting at the screen because Bournemouth have offered me £3.2 million for a player that I just paid £30 million for the season before. It's like the game has no memory, no market logic, and definitely no respect for my excellent negotiating skills. And it's not just me. You've seen it in my saves for years, and I know from the comments that you've seen it in yours as well. So in this video, I want to dig into why the transfer system is such a mess and what Sports Interactive could actually do to fix it. And yes, some of it is actually pretty easily fixable without needing a fancy new engine or a complete rewrite of the game. So if they've got one of those planned, just cancel all that, release what you've got, fix this stuff, we're good. So hit the like button, tell me all about your worst FM transfer story down in the comments, and let's crack on, shall we? And we're going to start off with clarifying what I actually think is broken. And there's quite a lot, so I've prepared a list. Number 1. The AI undervaluing your players. You spend 3 years developing a wonder kid, he wins Player of the Year, and the moment you transfer list him, Real Sociedad offer you £4 million for him. Meanwhile, you've got to pay £47 million for a 30-year-old with no legs and 3-star potential. I could give thousands of examples of this one. It happens every single transfer window and seems to be one of the bluntest tools the game uses to try to stop the player from assembling a team full of wonder kids too easily. 2. Ridiculous wage demands. And this one drives me mad. We've seen it with my Wimbledon team in the Pentagon that I'm playing at the moment. So many average players on way too much money, and it's not just AI managers handing out silly wages, it's League One quality players suddenly asking for 40 grand a week just because we've been promoted to the Championship. It ruins Road to Glory saves because it's so hard to keep a team together as you move up through the leagues, because all the players you sign lower down want messy salaries by the time you hit the lower half of the Premier League, and it's always cheaper to just sign better players on less money rather than keeping the ones who you're supposedly on the favoured personnel list for. Number 3. Transfer negotiations are wildly inconsistent. Sometimes the AI just accepts the first offer with no counter. Other times they reject 5 identical bids and then accept another one that's worse than those ones. And don't get me started on clauses. Why are 50% sell-ons the default now? Why does the AI turn down £70 million from me only to accept £20 million from another AI manager? And why do players sit on the transfer list for months or sometimes even years with no interest at all, but then the moment I make an offer for them, 8 other teams come along and start a bidding war? It just doesn't make any sense. 4. There's not really any kind of market dynamics. There's no sense of inflation or desperation from clubs. In fact, most clubs rarely sign players they actually need. They're not reacting to injuries, to squad gaps, or to form. They're just throwing bids into a black hole and hoping for the best. AI clubs all act like Chelsea, just buying up whatever players are available, often without a plan to actually use them. And then you arrive as the new manager at a club that the AI have been in charge of for years, and there's whole positions not even covered. Like when I arrived at Wimbledon and there were 5 Premier League quality starting strikers, but no central midfielders at all. How does a club get into that kind of situation without a whole load of nonsense going on somewhere? Number 5, selling players is painful. Put someone on the transfer list and you either get low ball offers or nothing at all. Or, and this is my very favourite one, they agree to the move and then reject the contract because they wanted a new challenge, just not the new challenge that you accepted. It seems like the only way to convince a player to leave now is to transfer list them and then put their playing time down to nothing. But the moment you do transfer list them, the amount the AI is willing to pay drops to a third of what it was before. So you get into a crazy system of having to invite offers secretly through the agents because the offers are always way too low. If you actually use the offer to clubs or the intermediaries buttons, that's a whole other thing. And then once the offers do come in, you then have to remember to transfer list the player at that point so they'll actually leave. When in reality, if you think about what a transfer list actually is, once you've accepted 5 offers for a player, there's no need to actually transfer list them. The point of the transfer list is to alert clubs that are playing. Oh, it's stupid. And I think part of the issue is that FM's transfer system hasn't evolved much in years, at least not in any meaningful way. Yeah, we've had better UI things like the intermediaries coming in, scouting has had some overhauls, and agents are now a thing. But the logic behind transfers still feels like it belongs to a game from 2015. And worse, the gap between the player and the AI is getting bigger because we're figuring the system out. Or at this point, we kind of have figured the system out. We all know how to rinse clauses, front load contract, offer players on massive installments, wait until deadline day when the AI panic buys. The AI? They're just still making the same weird moves that they were a decade ago. Just look at what happens when you holiday a few years. You get Premier League clubs full of aging squad players, no depth, random wonder kids rotting in League Two. It's like giving a toddler £100 million and telling them to build a team. And all that being said, I think we can all agree that the transfer system in FM is broken. So how do we fix it? And no, I'm not going to suggest building a full dynamic transfer market powered by real-world analytics and a fancy ChatGPT style AI. I get it. Football Manager has limitations and the new game is out, hopefully, this year. We need something that can be fixed now. And there is some realistic stuff that could be done relatively easily. And I've prepared a second list. Number 1, contextual bidding logic. Look at me with my fancy words. But it should be relatively easy to let the AI understand form, contract length, reputation, recent transfers. If I've just paid £25 million for someone last season, the AI shouldn't be offering me £7 million for that same player the next season unless something's gone horribly wrong with that player. 2, proper wage scaling. Wage expectations should be based on club size, league standards, and position within that league. If I'm managing Tranmere, no 16-year-old left-back should be demanding £5,000 a week with a clean sheet bonus. 3, the AI should consider squad needs and have some kind of, we'll call it desperation logic. If the AI has an injured striker and no backups, it should try and sign a striker, and it should be willing to overpay for that striker. That's how it works in real life. Just ask Chelsea. 4, transfer values should actually make sense. Because in Football Manager, you get that stupid value range for your player, and then the AI sells them for a third of that anyway. We should just scrap that range altogether and give us a proper, smarter valuation system that reflects player performance, market inflation, and demand for that player. Transfer market exists in real life after all, and I've never gone on there and seen a player's valuation listed as a range from £100,000 to £10 million. But that seems to happen all the time in Football Manager, and that's not a very useful range. Number 5, we need proper deadline day dynamics. This one should be relatively simple. On deadline day, all logic should just go out the window like it does in real life. There should be more player movement, more last-minute offers, and more panic buys. We do it as players, but the AI rarely does a good old panic buy. It shouldn't be that hard to just code in some chaos. And number 6, we should be making player sales more interactive. And what I mean by that is we as the managers should be able to pitch players to clubs who actually need them, whether it's us or the head of youth development or the director of football suggesting destinations. I don't care who does it, but the process needs to feel more alive, not just a transfer list and hope or offer to all or any of that nonsense. And ultimately, this stuff is all important because transfers are the best part of Football Manager. They're the stories, the rebuilds, the Wonder Kid hunts, the transfer sagas. And when the system doesn't feel fair, when you're being fleeced by the AI or watching the game ruin immersion with nonsense transfers, it just drags the whole experience down. And plus, for content creators like me, transfers are the hook. Viewers love transfers. They love seeing who we sign, how we build squads, and the drama of the negotiations. So making the system better doesn't just improve the game, it makes it more watchable, more replayable, more satisfying, and most importantly, more fun. So there we have it. I've just outlined what's broken and how to fix it. If one of you could type that up for me to send over to Sports Interactive, that'd be super. And we can even add in some of your comments to the letter. Let me know down in the comments what your biggest FM transfer nightmare is, or what's the one thing you'd change about the transfer system. And before you go, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, and let's hope FM26, whenever that little rascal does come, brings some much needed transfer logic back into the game. Thanks for watching, folks. And if Bournemouth offer £3 million for my Ballon d'Or winner again next season, I am deleting the game. Toodle pip.